Nigeria, by extension Africa, battles a growing youthful population and with little or no meaningful engagement leaves a ticking time bomb on our hands. We are a blessed continent with great wealth, both in people and material. Our focus on ways remains driving conversations that affects us all. Topics in the news, social concerns, politics, leadership, governance, empowerment, resource management, conflict management, finance, SME sustainability, technological innovation, food security, health, education, brain drain, our well-being, citizenship, and much more. Our goal is to continuously drive these conversations, keep them burning at the table to effect a positive change, both for our nation and continent. Ways, what are you saying, has a secret ingredient that completes the conversation every single episode, and that ingredient is you. Our past conversations shaped our yesterday. To shape our tomorrow, we must keep talking. So, I want to hear you. Be a part of our live conversations Mondays through Fridays. And let's all have our say.
Governor Chukwuma Soludo of Anambra State recently made a controversial statement linking crime rates to ethnicity, sparking widespread public debate and media scrutiny. His remarks have drawn both support and criticism, especially in a country as ethically diverse and sensitive as Nigeria. This claim raises important questions about the intersection of crime, identity, and governance, challenging the public to examine whether such generalizations are backed by evidence or contribute to harmful stereotypes. It's another wonderful episode on your favorite primetime show, Ways. My name remains Osayiwa Mesali, and today we're taking a closer look at Governor Soludo's comment or statement about crime and ethnicity. And remember, Ways is all about you. You are the why in Ways, so be a part of the conversation every single day. Add your voice to the discussion. You can also head onto our YouTube channel, that Official Upgrade TV. Hit the subscribe button, like, share, invite your families and friends, especially your Igbo friends. I want to hear their thoughts on this topic when I open the phone lines. I really love to hear their thoughts on this topic because, we'll play that video for you guys much later to see. As always, let me allow you ponder on my quote for the day. And this was said by the governor himself. He said 99.99% of all the criminals we have arrested rather, are Igbos. All these camps are Igbos. So we'll delve into all of this much later. But first, let me run off on a break. When I come back, I'll let you in on my news interest for the day. Stay with me. All right, you're still watching Ways. I'll start off the news interest by stating that the coordinator of the World Health Organization in Ondo State, Dr. Habibu Yahaya, has disclosed that Nigeria loses about $1.2 billion to medical tourism annually due to what he described as the fragility of the country's health system. According to him, the country's health system is facing acute shocks such as pandemics and epidemics, as well as chronic stressors identified as poor funding and persistent strikes. He said, health system fragility results in about $1.2 billion lost from the Nigerian economy to medical tourism yearly. Also, medical experts and stakeholders at the event pointed out that one of the factors responsible for weak health system is the human resource gap. As if we do not know all of this. We started talking about brain drain for, I think, since over 4 years ago on Ways. We started talking about brain drain, how we were losing our intelligent minds, our doctors, our nurses, and engineers, and all different kinds of profession, especially with more people though within the medical sector. We started talking about it over 4 years ago, how that will be a potential problem, and that's what we're seeing today. I mean, I remember the conversation we had on Tuesday on what's it called, health. Brain, sorry, health, medical tourism, and we were just so, uh, it was tiring to just even have the conversation, and knowing full well that the people that are supposed to even fix the healthcare system, because they have other options, they are not even interested in fixing it. I saw a picture today, for instance, on social media, how the different politicians and different political leaders, right, have just been attending different graduation ceremonies of their children. I keep on wondering, so how would education be fixed in this country? Same goes for health. When almost everybody is going abroad for treatment, why would they need to fix the health system in Nigeria? So it's not a news for us that we're losing 1.2 billion to medical tourism annually. It's just very, very sad, and it's something that really breaks my heart. All right, I'll move on to my next story. The Turkish federal government dismisses Turkish claim of new terror group in Nigeria. They had on Wednesday said that there is no new terror group in the country, and this comes on the heels of a warning by the Turkish government that members of a terrorist group known as Fethullah terrorist organization operate in Nigeria as well as in other countries around the world. The Turkish ambassador designate to Nigeria, Mehmet Poro, also claimed that the group was using schools and health services as a cover for its operation in the country. The coordinator of the National Center Tourism, National Counter-Tourism Center, Major General Adamu Laka, urged Nigerians not to panic, stating that no new terrorist group existed in the country. I will not be so quick to not be in a hurry not to panic as a Nigerian, because I remember that, previous warnings and previous claims like this have come in the past, and we said, oh, not to worry, nothing to worry about, but see where we are today. So I will not be in a hurry not to worry. I would worry. I would like for the Major General Adamulaka, that's the coordinator for the Counterterrorism Center, please, can you avail us the intelligence report that you have carried out to say that these people do not exist? Remember that so many things have been going around, allegations around funding of terrorism. And terrorists will not just come to your country to say, take this money and go and kill people or go and bomb people. No. Terrorists will come in the form of aids. They will come in form of, like what they are saying, alleging now, schools and healthcare systems. This is how they would infiltrate your system. So it's not every aid we collect. It's not everything we say thank you for. No. You must always question the motives behind some of these things. And a lot of these people, because they have very strong tendency to want to radicalize people, they will not just come outright to say, I want to come and brainwash you. No. They would definitely go through something, that would be almost, is in your face, but it's very unnoticeable, right? Very subtle. They call them noiseless effect, because it's going to be very subtle. You're not going to see it coming, but it's there. So I will not be in a hurry to just dismiss what the Turkish government, has said. Instead, can you just avail us with a lot of intelligence reports so that we know that truly, yes, you have done your sweep clean and these people do not exist in your country. I'll move on to my final story. No fewer than 9,469 admissions across the 20 tertiary institutions nationwide have been flagged as fake by the Joint Admission and Matriculation Board for the 2024 academic session. Now, according to the board, the admissions were conducted outside the popular Central Admission Processing System, popularly known as CAPS. According to the list obtained from JAM, Kano State University of Science and Technology led the pack with about 2,215 fake admissions, with Ladoke Akintola University of Technology following with 1,215. Others are Gombe State University, 1,164. Emmanuel Alayonde University of Education, 761. Federal University of Technology, Owerri, 534. Ambrosali University, 514. Igbenedion University, 365. Akwa Ibom Polytechnic, 340. College of Nursing and National Orthopedic Hospital, Igbobi, 281. Others are Anchor University, 133. Michael and Celia Ibru University, 116. And the Federal College of Animal Health and Production Technology, 113. So they said CAPS was introduced to enhance transparency and efficiency and serve as an online platform where prospective university students can monitor and manage their admission status. So now, I don't know how this is working, but I should believe that this should be a good thing. I remember when we were going to school, those people that they said they used to run admission and all of that, so many people fell victim of fake admissions, into universities. And meanwhile, they had paid, and, greased a lot of palm to get to those, to get on the list, only to find out that, the admission was wrong. So if there's a portal that would help, gauge to be sure that your admission is authentic, why not? It's a welcome development. That's what technology is supposed to help us do. All right, so let me go on a short break. When I come back from that break, let's discuss Governor Chukwuma Soludo. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Life is made up of moments, some that fill us with joy, others that test our strength. Welcome to Heartlines. This is our space to explore the highs and lows of human connection, the love, the heartbreak, and resilience that shapes our life. From relationships to friendships, parenting to partnerships, and so much more. Every week, we share stories and conversations that define us, navigating love, separations, the struggles of parenting, dealing with anxiety and managing the pressures and stress of life. Real conversations that bring us closer, helping us heal, grow, and connect. So join me Mondays through Fridays at 10 p.m. for Heartlines, the show where we'll connect hearts, have real conversations with real people, one story at a time.
I've been in office for three years and 3 months, okay? If we have arrested 100 criminals, non-mafia, kidnappers, and so on and so forth, 99.99% of them will mark Igbo. Did you hear me right? I said 99.99% of them will mark Igbo. So these things are made because that was part of the lie that was put in propaganda. They are into kidnapping because it is the next lucrative business after Yahoo and drug. The next one for find is about kidnapping. Omaka. And this is even other states. If an acquire we do all Anambra. Onye nke na village fa ogote motorcycle me adjoin California abia ka etinye na line. Akwale ya bai mafia mama how to ifa. Iji dey also on the Fulani. I'll repeat and I want you to quote me right. 99.99% of all the criminals, kidnappers and so on that were arrested so far, Igbos are the ones kidnapping Igbos. They are the ones killing Igbos. all these camps, and by the way, because I came with the same false narrative. The false narrative, oh, the Fulanis, they are invading our people. They are now everywhere. They are waiting for whistle to be blown. And this, and they will take over. And therefore, we are the one who are the liberators. We are now going into the bush to go to chase out the Fulanis. Nobody asked the question. They are now banning mafia to go and liberate you. How do they feed 1 month, 2 months, 6 months, 1 year? How do they feed? How do they feed? So that, you see, I like I said, I'm one of you, but I decided to go home. Actually, in '99, I was a visiting professor at Swarthmore College. Okay? And I remember the last conversation of Giovanni sending forth, because from there I moved down here to DC, to the World Bank, where I spent 18 months. I was just leaving and they were having a set forth party. And I remember the chairman of the department wishing that I could spend maybe a much longer time. My response was, a friend there called me several years to say how my response touched him, a white man. Asked me if God in his infinite wisdom decided in Memoria Africa, there must be a purpose. And I couldn't fulfill that purpose in this land. Here, that my marginal contribution to American civilization is next to 0 point something %. But my marginal contribution to the advancement of civilization in Africa will be, you see how your presence elevates the quality of discussion and decisions, and so on. And tomorrow, one of the meetings in that project, when I left Swarthmore to the World Bank, I was a long-term consultant, and we produced a book published by the World Bank in 2000 entitled Can Africa Claim the 21st Century?
All right, that was a lengthy video. So Governor Chukwuma Soludo of Anambra State, of course, as you saw in that video, stirred public debate when he made that statement suggesting a link between certain crimes and ethnicity. Soludo implied that many criminal activities in parts of Southeast, especially or particularly kidnapping and violent crimes, are being perpetuated by individuals within the region, which is the Igbos. Now, his comment also reignited conversations about ethnic profiling, regional security, political responsibility. While Soludo's intention may have been to highlight growing security concerns in Anambra and the broader Southeast region, his statement has been criticized by some for reinforcing negative ethnic stereotypes. Now, in a country as ethnically diverse as Nigeria, with over 250 ethnic groups, public figures are expected to tread carefully when addressing issues that intersect with identity, crime, and regional tension. Critics argue that framing crime through an ethnic lens can lead to dangerous generalization, and such claims risk inciting mistrust amongst community, potentially leading to xenophobic behavior or justification of for extrajudicial actions, and it may also distract from the addressing the systemic issue, and one of which would be unemployment, weak law enforcement, corruption. And those are the things that have often contributed more directly to the rising crimes as opposed just, from the region. So on one hand, right, some supporters of Governor Soludo contend that he is simply stating facts based on intelligence report and security briefings. They argue that acknowledging the origin of certain criminal elements is necessary for crafting more effective and targeted security strategies. From this perspective, avoiding hard truths for the sake of political correctness could be counterproductive in the fight against crime. So this raises broader questions around how Nigerian leaders balance transparency with national unity, and should leaders name ethnic affiliations when discussing crime, or should they focus? Should the focus remain strictly on criminal behaviors itself, regardless of the identity? So those are the small questions that have been flying up and down here and there. But I think, I don't know, I have a bit of mixed feelings. I'm not really totally for it, and I'm not totally against it. Because again, one thing I would say, it is only natural that if we arrested 100 people within Lagos, for instance, Lagos State, and 100 criminals within Lagos State, it is going to also be possible that you also get that about that 99 or 98% of the criminals being, of the Western descent. It is so. I don't know how cross-border crime works, because I know that a lot of people now. Okay, maybe Lagos is not the best example, because Lagos is a bit of Lagos has a lot of mixed what's it called, ethnic groups, right? So it's a bit of a different argument when it comes to Lagos. Maybe other states. So if we move down to maybe Kaduna, we move down to Core North, or we go down east, or other parts of the western region, it's possible that the point I'm trying to make is, when you gather, arrest people within that region, it's possible that you might also get the same statistics that the man is saying. And he's just saying that, see, it is not outsiders that are coming to do us, it is us doing ourselves. That's what I gathered from that. But you see, these arguments, right, the dangers that lies within these arguments, is just far-reaching, because again, it is not, and here is my own concern when I hear this kind of argument. Oh, is it right? That's not the issue. The issue is that there is a high rise in crime, right? There's a high rise in crime, and as long as crime is on the rise, then instead of us, I always say this all the time, instead of us focusing on the symptoms, going to the leaves and trying to pluck out, why is this leaf turning brown and it's supposed to be green? That's not the reason. There's something fundamentally wrong with the root of that tree. So it is at the root that you now curb the problem. Right? Ethnicizing crime can result in blanket, suspicion of innocent people from certain communities, and this can lead to discrimination in different things. I've heard people say, I cannot rent my house to an Igbo person. I've heard all of those kind of statements in housing, in employment, in everything. It's going to be tough if we start to put ethnicity to crimes. It may also serve as a justification for retaliatory violence, or vigilante, those vigilante justice. So where people would rather use vigilante, to solve the problem, and they're usually tied to jungle justice, especially in volatile areas, instead of going to the appropriate authorities who's supposed to be the police. So I would say to Governor Soludo, rather than emphasizing ethnicity, it is important that we are recommending that the focus remain on the crime itself, right? The criminal networks, the method of their operation, and the socio-economic drivers of those issues. And these issues, it cuts across all ethnic groups. It's not specific, because as I said, if you take a poll and you go to another part of the country and you gather like 100 criminals, it is also possible that those criminals will be from that region. Because I don't think somebody will just travel all the way to another part, say, this is what I want to go and commit a crime, then come back. No, usually they live amongst, they are there. So, I mean, we need to know that some of the statements that we make, especially as leaders, it has far-reaching implications, and if replicated by other leaders, like what Governor Soludo has done, such ethnic framing of crime could exacerbate division in a country already grappling with regional and religious tension. We're already having issues with our ethnicity and all of those things. So further driving this kind of home, I know he was talking to his brothers, but you see the video has gone viral, and unfortunately, we can't help it. So now tomorrow, if I see an Igbo man, maybe from Anambra State, I'm already looking at him that I think this person is a criminal. And it also raises the question, how can leaders speak about security realities without fueling ethnic biases or exclusion, right? And all of these things must be done with tact and wisdom. So I remember having a conversation with someone, I think a couple of days back, and the person was saying that, okay, I went to Ladipo Market and I saw, all these Igbo guys. He kept on emphasizing, why are these people, where do these people get the money from? That he doesn't want to believe that, it is just from spare parts and all of that, because the amount of stock that they have, that is, goods inside those type of shops, they are in hundreds of millions. Where do they get all those money from? That there must be something else that they're doing, so the spare part business might just be a front. And you see, as long as conversations like what the governor has said, is always brought forth, then you would also not blame people like this for thinking in that light, right? So the challenge lies in communicating facts while promoting unity. A delicate balance would have been it, right? And that demands tact, accuracy, and a commitment to inclusive governance. Right? It's very important that, you see, I wish when he was talking about it, he kind of gave insights to other regions, because it is only natural that if, there are Easterners, and again, if you notice, right, the East is not particularly that part of Nigeria where a lot of foreigners stay, unlike other parts of Nigeria. And this is me, correct me please if I am wrong, because my own observance, right, if you go to, for instance, Kaduna, you go to Abuja, you go to Lagos, you see a mix, you see a blend of a lot of people. But when you go to the East, right, it's either maybe your bank transferred you there, maybe corporate clients, and corporate organizations transfer their staff there. Hardly would you see people, just migrate there to say they are going to go and stay there, unlike other parts of, and please, this conversation is not to spark any ethnicity war, right? It's just for us to have a conversation, right, around what the governor said. So based on what the governor has said, I did a quick survey, and I came up with a quick history on crime, right, and kidnapping, violent crime and kidnapping over the years in the East. So kidnapping incidents spiked sharply in Anambra between May and August of 2024. At least 20 people were abducted across a few months, with over 250 million naira paid in ransom and more than 10 deaths recorded. So remember what I said about that, my friend that said, they must be doing something. One of the biggest things he said, a lot of these people, are into crimes like kidnapping. I've said these things several times, but you see, it's not only Igbo people that kidnap people, because even all these other parts of Nigeria, don't they kidnap people? So you see, kidnapping in itself is a crime. And that's why I'm saying that I have a bit of mixed feeling with how the governor put it, because now you're deflating from the issue. Kidnapping is a lucrative business in Nigeria, regardless of any region you go to. Imagine collecting a ransom, right, of over 250 million naira. Why would I want to work legitimately, right? And they did not only collect those ransoms, they said more than 10 deaths were recorded. They said a high-profile case was one of the high-profile cases involved a retired Anglican archbishop, his driver, abducted and held for weeks in Orumba South in the late 2024. December of that same year, lawmakers, priests, business executives, they were all kidnapped in multiple communities. Several remain missing or dead till date, sparking intense public outrage. So a new pattern emerged, right, when, of course, we started hearing about the unknown gunmen, right? Armed individuals targeting rural communities, often killing, kidnapping, or terrorizing residents. So if you look at all of these things that I have mentioned, a qualitative study showed or highlighted that these were all as a result of weak security infrastructure, high level of unemployment, and poor governance as enabling factors. So it is not enough for us to just say, oh, crime is on the rise and these are the people that are perpetrating the crime. Why are they committing crime in the first place? Those are the things that as leaders we should start to address, because once we start to say the why, it is then easy for us to work our way back to a solution. And still on this history, May of 2022, Anambra killings, allegedly by suspected IPOB militants, they resulted to at least 14 civilians slain, including a pregnant woman. and her 4 children, sparking widespread fear across communities of northern origin. Now, May 16, 2023, armed assailants ambushed the U.S. consular convoy in Ogbaru local government area, right? Killing at least 2 police officers and 2 consulate staff and kidnapping others. The incident was linked to suspected separatist group. Security forces also reported jailbreak, mass attack, and large prison escape in the southeast region of Nigeria that is tied to secessionist violence and criminal syndicates. Are we talking about ritual killings? Ritual killings also increased in rural Anambra as belief in occult wealth drove some human sacrifices, particularly in communities with limited police presence. So what are we saying? Why would there be a rise in ritual killings? It's directly linked to economics. The state also became a hub for cybercrime. You know, you call them Yahoo Yahoo. With Nnewi, Onitsha, Oka, seeing growing fraud cases. And they said arrests in the southeast rose about 35%, with Anambra frequently cited amongst the hotspots. So you see, it is only natural that, yes, you would find your people, you know, around those. I mean, if you are arresting 100 people, 99.9% would be, of course, because they are all in that region. But I would have preferred if I had a conversation around what the likely causes of these crimes would have been. So the government, right, in an attempt to respond to these challenges, Governor Soludo declared, remember when he declared curfew in May of 2022 across 8 local government areas under the criminal control launch operation Udo Gachi, right, and formed the Agunechemba Vigilante Strike Force, resulting in armed raids and dismantling of criminal dens in the rural hideouts. That was what he did. Security agencies also stepped up, and of course, they called the Forest Clearance Operation, and the Nigerian Forest Security Service partnered with Anambra State to eliminate criminal camps in forest and remote areas, notably following high-profile attacks in the late 2024, right? So I get all the conversation around ethnicity, right? But there is a reason we are having these crimes. The one major reason kidnapping thrived in Nigeria and beyond Anambra State, kidnapping thrived because it became a lucrative business, right? Imagine if we were able to follow the money. Imagine if all this ransom that have been paid over the years, we actually traced and followed it. What do you think would have happened by now? It would have been a thing of the past. All of a sudden, armed robbery became child's play. Armed robbery became zero. Because now, kidnapping was a lot more safer, was less violent. You know, some became violent, but I'm saying it was a lot more interesting because by the time you call somebody, oh, bring a ransom and all of that, it was easy for them, easy money. So armed robbery was too much work. I have to go in the middle of the night, carry gun, go to people's houses and all of those things. All those things stopped. So, Governor Soludo, I would think that, you know, your claim on crime and ethnicity, it should not really be limited to, you know, your people in Anambra State. I get it that you're your governor, you're trying to do your bit, but that balance would have been that if we did a survey across other parts of Nigeria, it's also likely that we would have the same amount or the same percentage of, people from those regions as well, you know, being arrested for the crimes. So let's go on a short break, right? When we come back from that break, I want to try to attempt to find way forward to this solution problem. Stay with us, we'll be right back.
Tell us you're a Nigerian without saying a word. Energy security is one of the most pressing issues for many developing countries like Nigeria. And if there's going to be any meaningful progress, addressing our energy issues is non-negotiable.
I need to see light from my house. Make them do something.
Band A is expensive. I literally have to turn off all my appliances just to reduce costs.
We need light.
Introducing the Energy Outlook, your go-to show for everything energy. Every week, We will bring you the latest insights, innovation, and in-depth analysis of Nigeria energy sector. From policy discussions to regulatory insights, we will analyze the key decisions influencing growth and sustainability in the energy sector. We'll bring you the human stories behind the headlines, giving you a personal perspective on the broader energy challenges. Join me every Friday at 6 p.m. for the Energy Outlook, your guide to the future of energy, where energy means business.
All right, thanks for staying tuned. Now, if you just tuned in, we're discussing Governor Soludo's claim on crime and ethnicity. Please, let's hear what you have to say. Remember, you can join the conversation. Send us an SMS or WhatsApp to 081-803-84663. You can also leave us a comment on our YouTube link. The live link will read your comments as well. Our phone lines are also now open. The numbers to call 07025007749 or 07014242420. Let's hear what you have to say. All right, so let me quickly take this comment before I continue this conversation. ND Great says, Governor Soludo's careless nonsense statement about crime and ethnicity, it's infuriating. How dare he sit in that office and fling reckless generalization that fan the flames of division when his job is to protect everyone in Anambra, no matter their background. What exactly is he trying to achieve? Paint the whole community as criminals so he can score cheap political points? people are angry. All right, so yeah, Indy, I get your, I be ND Great, I get your sentiment, but honestly, I think, he should have just been a lot more balanced. I think I have a caller, our first caller for the evening. Good evening. Thank you for calling.
Good evening, my sister.
Is that Loma?
No, this is Pastor Ladipo.
Oh, Pastor Ladipo, good evening. Oh, your voice sounded like Loma. Go ahead, please.
Okay. Now, my take on this is this. This time, some of them want to sound politically corrected. That is why they make some statements and they don't know the implication of those statements they make. You don't use one brush to paint the entire ethnic group just because you want to sound politically correct. So for me, this misbehavior or bad attitude has been with us from time immemorial. We know. So he doesn't need to come up and create an atmosphere where everybody will now look suspicious. I'm telling you, so some of them don't even understand the meaning of comments they make just because they are seeking for people's applause or they want to stand corrected politically.
Thank you.
It is painful.
I understand. Thank you, Pastor Ladipo. So let me say that root causes of crime in this region that I have observed: youth, unemployment, and underdevelopment. So you see, despite being a commercially vibrant region, right, sadly, the Southeast suffers from poor infrastructure and low investment and lack of job opportunities. Sadly, many youths turn to crime, especially cyber fraud or violent robbery, as a means of survival or quick wealth. I am not excusing crime, but I'm saying that the issues are deeper than you arresting 100 people and 99.99% are Igbos. Do you understand? It's beyond that, it's deeper. Poor policing and security infrastructure is another issue because inadequate personnel, logistics, and community trust in the police forces. Some communities have resorted to what I said, the vigilante or community-based policing, sometimes leading to human rights abuses. That's what you see in those regions. Weak governance and political corruption. State resources often mismanaged or diverted, right? There's failure in governance, which fuels resentment and further alienation, right? Especially amongst the youth. traditional rulers, the influence of traditional rulers and elders in maintaining order, they've been also weakened because of political interference. You know, there used to be a time when the Igwe would declare, everybody would just go and be the Eze, I don't know what. In fact, I even saw one report now about the monarchical structure. I think they've abolished something. Let me quickly just even look for that one in the Igbo land. You know, I saw it this evening. The Traditional Rulers Council abolishes Eze Indigbo, traditional title for Igbo leaders in the diaspora. You know, all these things, because again, there's just too many political interferences and it has eroded some of our cultural values. So Governor Charles Soludo, if you arrested 100 criminals, and this would help avoid wrongful targeting and build trust across communities, right? So it is not just enough for us to say, hey, these are people. Because let me tell you something. The way I was born, bred, buttered and breaded or whatever in the north, I can easily pass for a northerner, right? So it's the same way some people have naturalized. Have you heard some Igbo guys speaking fluent Yoruba? My mom speaks impeccable Yoruba. You would think she's from Lagos State. I'm just saying that I know you must have gathered your intelligence before you can make that statement, but please let us just be clear that this is pure data backing what you have said. And even if it is data that is backing it, there's also what I've said, because it is the region, it is also likely that it will happen that way. So let's not focus on, oh, these people are Igbos. No. Let's focus on why are they even criminals in the first place. So if we improve interstate security collaboration, this can also help, since crime networks often cross states. Because I know that some people go to other states to go and perpetrate evil, then come back to their state. See what when the Benue killings and all of that was happening, look at what they were saying about the border, Nasarawa and all of that, how, you know, it seems like those people are coming in from those regions, and when they finish their evil, they go back. So imagine if states are beginning to intentionally partner, right? Partner with the regional states around you. There should be cooperation between all the southeastern governors and neighboring states. It's very crucial, so that there will be intelligence sharing, coordinated patrol, joint task force that can help dismantle some of the criminal syndicates more effectively. I'll go back to why are we having a high rise in crime today in Nigeria? Another thing I would say that as a way forward would be we need to strengthen community policing and intelligence gathering. And this would involve local leaders, vigilante groups, even the community residents. It will involve everybody. It has to be all hands on deck. You know, because communities are often the first to detect suspicious activities and should be seen as allies in fighting of crime, as opposed they are just there. No. There should be a system, an effective system in Nigeria. Because I think it is very easy for us to be able to fish out this criminal element amongst us. It's very easy. But that would now require a lot of cooperation and a lot of collaborative work. I can't overemphasize this next point more than I have said. Address the root causes of crime. Poverty, unemployment, social exclusion. These are the major drivers of crime anywhere. Address it. People are just agitated. People do not even know what is next. See some people with certificates, you understand, they cannot get a job. The ones that have the job, you know, it's just a lot of things going on. There has to be targeted investment in education. There has to be targeted investment in skill development. Skill development. So it's not just enough for you to have an education. You must have a skill. And thank God for what is going on right now. Technology is making life so easy. Imagine if Governor Soludo says, you know what? I think I want to empower all these young people so that we can stop crime in Anambra State and give them skills that can help them earn decent income. What it be Yahoo Yahoo? Is it not you interacting with the world? Other people that have UX, UI designers, graphics designers, what's it called? Business analysts, product managers, project managers, all of those people, they work on their laptops as well. It's just that one work is legitimate, the other work is not legitimate. So imagine if you, as a governor, you are focused on skill development, youth empowerment, right? In a real sense of empowerment. That can help reduce, right, the incentive to join any criminal network. So when you have those kind of statistics, it should be something that you should be worried about, that, hey, why are we having this crime in the first place? And how do we stop it? Political leaders, you must exercise restraint and clarity when addressing sensitive topics like crime and ethnicity. I would say that this one was completely, I just don't want to go into all the comments that I read and all of that, because for me, sometimes these days I try to also detox my mind. I don't want to go and take read a story that would also mess up my mind. But he needed to have applied a lot of restraining, because that topic is too sensitive. So you must be intentional about languages that would promote unity and mutual responsibility. That is what is essential. Do you understand? Because what you have done, you have automatically placed your people as targets for other ethnic groups to criticize and for other ethnic groups to begin to point fingers at them. You think all these other people don't know that the number of criminals in their state is coming from their locality? They know, but they will not just say it. I get you, you're trying to be honest. And that's why I say that I cannot completely take a side. I understand where you're coming from. But I would have wished what was projected more was, why was there a crime in the first place? And you see, there has to be some level of public dialogue on ethnicity, security, and unity. Nigeria, we need to be open and respectful. We need to be honest. And this is where I say I get where the governor was coming from, because he was just trying to have an open and honest conversation. Say, now our people, they do also. When you hear all this crime thing, don't think it's all these Fulani headsmen or all these people. It is our people that are doing it to us. That was his, if you ask me, that is how I saw what he was trying to say. And that's why Nigerians, we need open and respectful dialogues about ethnic tensions, stereotypes, and real sources of insecurity. Some of these people have just become, okay, you know what? Since I'm not going to get this in now, and I can easily get free money kidnapping people, I can go ahead. But you see, the reason somebody would go into crime in this country of today is because they know that, I've heard somebody say that, if you want to steal, you better steal in billions. So that by the time you are done settling all the people, you will still have something. You understand? People don't just steal small money anymore. Because small money, I saw some videos online. They went to steal chicken. You will beat them as if almost unaliving them. But the people that are stealing billions, you don't touch them. So that now proves that theory right, to say that if you want to steal, you better steal in trillions now, because now in trillions they steal. So that when you steal in trillions, by the time you have used billions to settle, you still have some money to go home with. So we need to be very clear, right? We need to be very clear. Crime in the southeastern region of Nigeria is multi-layered, and it's not something that is just one thing. It is driven more by social-economic conditions and political disillusionment than by ethnic diversity. It's not about crime. It's not about being Igbo. You understand? Because the region is already largely ethnically Igbo. So when you say that, 99%, of course there will be Igbos. Now, what do you expect? Is it me that will go there and go and be committing crime? Let me take another caller. Loma, good evening.
Good evening, Angela.
Hi, Loma. Good evening.
Good evening. See, I want to let us know one thing. In as much as I have high respect and regard for our political class, especially our governors, but the one of calling the entire ethnicity or his race that they are the 99.99 of crime committed is his brother. I have never heard it. Go to the 36th state of the Federation. You cannot hear it from the north. They can never point out and say the entire crime committed is from their own brother. It's not. See, in Abia State, Governor Alex Soti found out that the insecurity is rising. Do you know what he did? He decided to organize his friends to launch a program that will curb insecurity. You see, Enugu State Governor, but none of them call any of their brothers that they are the crime committer. They didn't lay accusation on their ethnicity. It means me as lawman from Umuahia, from Abia State, is part of the accusation he has laid. It's quite unfortunate. So I want to use this opportunity to tell you, you don't go and dramatize yourself outside. You remember, one day you will leave that seat. You will come back to those people you accused. So please, our political class, if you want to fight crime, but don't align it to ethnicity. It's quite unfortunate. A governor has never done it before. It is only from Soludo that I've seen it happening. It's quite unfortunate. I'm not happy with him. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Loma. I get you guys. So I just want to quickly wrap up the conversation, because if we really want to address this crisis, right? And I'm focusing on the crisis of crime, as opposed to the ethnic part of that crime. Inclusive governance, targeted economic revitalization, justice reform and police accountability, dialogue with some of these separatist group, youth empowerment through education and employment, as I had mentioned earlier. So Governor Soludo's claim linking crime to ethnicity has ignited, of course, an important and an important conversation, right, and uncomfortable conversation about crime, identity, and of course, and about leadership in Nigeria. While there may be factual elements behind his concerns, framing criminal activities along ethnic lines is very risky because you're undermining that national unity and potentially fueling prejudice, like I said. So the path forward must prioritize truth, justice, and inclusivity. Crime should be addressed as a societal problem, of course, that is rooted in economic disparity and governance gap, not as a product of ethnicity. Yeah, that's what crime is. So ultimately, solving Nigeria's security challenges or security crises would require collective responsibility, as I said earlier, smarter policies, leadership that heals rather than divides. So I think I'll leave it there. Again, thank you to our callers. Thank you to those that commented on YouTube. And I just want to say, Doctor, Professor Charles Soludo, I hear you. And please, it's intentional that you have to be a bit more sensitive. You know, the next time you want to talk about crime within your state, it's very important that you are a bit more sensitive. Because you do not know what you have done. Some people now, just by the mere fact they say they are from Anambra, they will begin to look at them with another eye. All right, thank you so much, everyone that contributed. Thank you for watching. Remember to, before I go, subscribe to our YouTube channel. You can interact with us further, drop a comment, and most importantly, follow all our engagements on social media. Like, share, invite your families and friends to watch and follow the conversation. If you missed our quote for the day, our governor says 99.99% of all criminals we have arrested are Igbos. All these camps are Igbos. This is very tough. All right, we'll see you guys tomorrow at 8 p.m. Enjoy the rest of your evening.
Nigeria, by extension Africa, battles a growing youthful population, and with little or no meaningful engagement, lives a ticking time bomb on our hands. We are a blessed continent with great wealth, both in people and material. Our focus on ways remains driving conversations that affects us all. Topics in the news, social concerns, politics, leadership, governance, empowerment, resource management, conflict management, finance, SME sustainability, technological innovation, food security, health, education, brain drain, our well-being, citizenship, and much more. Our goal is to continuously drive these conversations, keep them burning at the table to effect a positive change, both for our nation and continent. Ways, what are you saying, has a secret ingredient that completes the conversation every single episode, and that ingredient is you. Our past conversations shaped our yesterday. To shape our tomorrow, we must keep talking. So, I want to hear you. Be a part of our live conversations Mondays through Fridays. And let's all have our say.